Nobody better than us!
Your home for the best sports coverage in Utah. You're listening to Jake Scott and Ben Anderson on 97.5 The KSL Sports Zone.
Jake and Ben, 97.5 The KSL Sports Zone. We're teaming up with Beehive Meals for honoring the people that impact youth sports in our communities. Nominate the youth sports volunteer you know for the Beehive Meals Hero of the Week at kslsports.com/contests, and listen every Thursday to JJ and Alex for the winner. It's the Beehive Meals Hero of the Week.
Isaiah Collier officially out for the Utah Jazz.
Illness?
Illness.
Because it was personal reasons the other night, right? God, would you rather have personal reasons or illness? I think I'd rather have illness.
Yeah, everyone speculates about what you've done or if you've had a child or
personal reasons.
Died.
Right.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I have no idea what
that's rarely good. I'd rather just have the flu, I think. Christian, how did we not hit the breaking news sounder that this is the 6-year anniversary of...
Did you do a breaking news for an anniversary?
Of Ben's...
break in?
Ben's butt crack going viral?
Not butt crack. There was no butt crack involved.
There was
cloth.
Out of all the people that I know, Ben has the most famous butt crack. Out of all the people I know personally, Ben has the most famous backside.
Backside is one thing, butt crack is another. 6
Look
years
at the
ago
video.
today, Rudy Gobert touched all the microphones, making a joke out of the COVID thing, only for us to all learn 24 hours later that he had COVID. And was like the first reported person in Utah to have it.
It shut down the country. It really
Rudy
did.
Gobert started COVID.
Yeah, he didn't cause it, but
that's what you would think from that video.
Yeah.
No, he didn't cause it, and honestly, I will defend Rudy, but he was absolutely the first really high-profile person that got him, but specifically in sports, because the big topic, Ben, I don't know how well you remember it, but the big topic was, are they going to be able to proceed? Golden State had already said they weren't going to have fans. I think the Mountain West Conference tournament had already said that they were not going to have fans. Yeah. I mean, it was on this.
It was coming
on this precipice, and then for Rudy to test positive the way that he did right as the game was about to start, and it went from there. It's not Rudy's fault, but it was the story that shut down the world, and your backside was a huge part of that story. Huge. There were people in, Austria that are familiar with Ben's.
I did interviews in Australia. I did interviews in Europe. I did.
Say, sir, was that your backside?
I had one lady.
Get that backside on the phone.
I called her and she's like, what was your experience? I'm like, well, if you watch that video, I'm the one who stands up right in front. She's like, why were your pants pulled down? I was like,
no, you don't get it. I skate.
Well,
I ride the skateboard.
I'm getting my crack out there. What do you want from me?
Yeah, I don't know what to tell you about the genetics of my family, but that's not where we're built. We're just kind of flat all the way down. I don't know what to tell you. That's not my fault. I can cinch up a belt as tight as I want, and it's still going to happen. So, I don't own suspenders. I don't know what to tell you, lady. Sorry for jumping on with you.
It's wild that story was kind of the beginning of the end for that version of the Utah Jazz, because that in all honesty, it put that particular roster under such a microscope.
Yeah.
And then remember, Donovan Mitchell tested positively shortly thereafter, and then it was this big thing, and I can only imagine behind the scenes what it was like. And I don't think Donovan and Rudy were the best of friends to begin with.
Correct.
And then you have all this anonymous reporting. Amick was part of it, right? It was
Shams
The Athletic.
Was a big part of it, yeah.
Where they report on this schism in the locker room, and unsalvageable comes up. They even had a quote from somebody inside the Jazz that was saying that Donovan was throwing passes to Rudy so he would fail and shut his big bazoo.
It was a bit of a perfect storm, which was Rudy had always been a little bit of a joke in the NBA because of his limited offensive game and how awkwardly he moved. Plus, he's not all that beloved in any locker room he's in. He's just willing to call out teammates. He's still doing it in Minnesota. He's willing to look out for Rudy instead of being, the most selfless person, despite the fact that I think his style of play is extraordinarily selfless. Donovan, I think, has always had a little bit of a germ thing. Like, I think that played into it, an illness thing that he's wary of, which I think everybody was wary of COVID at the time, and we didn't know how serious or who it would affect at the highest levels, and it was relatively novel to the United States still at that point. So, yeah, for all of that to come together in this centralized specific area, had Steph Curry gotten it when Steph was beloved, everyone would have been like, oh, wow. If Steph can get it, anybody can get it. But like Rudy being the most French person on the planet and being like disliked already, and it was apparently because he was hosting people internationally. It's kind of the rumor of how it got here. It's just like not how it got here. It was going to get here inevitably, but how he got it.
It'd been here long before, and
Of
that
course,
stuff was
yes,
stuff was so ridiculous and almost just too convenient
Correct,
to make
absolutely.
it more of a story.
But it was so convenient that it was Rudy. Like,
Right.
it was the perfect person to pin it on for the haters that exist in the world and the NBA. And Rudy was a very easy target.
So that stinks for him. But as far as, they come back in 2021, Ben, and they go on this run where you think unsalvageable what? Like, they're creaming all these teams. And then the playoffs just bring out the reality, what most teams are, that just does. And the reality of that team was it was not going anywhere. As fun as Donovan was to watch, and he was. And a lot of people around here liked Rudy and still do, and I think what he did contribute to winning basketball. But I think there was some mismanagement around the edges, and the team was just never going to get over the hump. Are there still people that question that decision?
To move on?
To move on from Donovan and Rudy?
Probably, just because there's people who fill every demographic and every opinion. But overwhelmingly, no, I think that was the right move for the Jazz. And I think most fans recognize that at this point. And, we will see maybe the Cavaliers are able to take some type of step forward. I don't particularly think they're going to, though they're winning at a slightly higher rate now with James Harden. But no, the Jazz had run that team had run its course, and as opposed to what we're talking about right now with the Golden State Warriors, which is you can keep things on, you can keep your roster together well beyond the point that it's been spoiled. The Jazz wanted to avoid that, and they recognized that selling high, like, man, I don't know. You look back, maybe Mikal Bridges with the Knicks. He got 6 firsts essentially. Like they paid a very rich price to get a non-All-Star. There's not a lot.
Just ruined him, by the way.
Yeah, by the way, yeah, he had 0 points in their blowout loss
Just
yesterday.
ruined him because he was a fantastic
A really
player.
cool player.
He probably still is.
He's really good. He's just buried on a team that has too many. shot
Jalen
takers.
Brunson is busy dribbling.
So is Cat. Yeah, it's just a little too much nonsensical. Which can bring up another point we should get to in a second. But I don't know if anyone has matched the price still for what the Jazz got for both Rudy and Donovan. And in fact, the further we get away from this and the better sense of all that the Jazz have, like Lowry Markkanen for Donovan Mitchell straight up is not a terrible trade. Jazz would have lost it if it was that straight up. But on top of it, you've got draft picks that you still haven't paid off and are a part of, you've used those draft picks to go out and get Jaren Jackson Jr. Like that's a real coup. Rudy Gobert for this version of Keontae George straight up is probably pretty fair.
Let alone Walker.
Let alone Walker Kessler, and you still have another swap coming up. So, and also helped you get Jaren Jackson Jr. So, no, I think ultimately the Jazz had a pretty fair trade. They made do. It took a while. It's been 4 years. But they're going to get back to the playoffs mainly with the pieces they got as a result of these trades, not kind of fluky otherness. In fact, I will tell you, it's their own lottery picks that have not panned out that are probably the reason why the Jazz are still a lottery team this year.
But that was the point.
Yeah.
That's the point of doing it.
Yeah, exactly right.
Is you set yourself up to rebuild.
Have lots of bites at the apple, because if you are only betting on hitting on your lottery picks and you end up with Taylor Hendricks and Cody Williams and you don't have a way of getting out, this rebuild's going to last 5 more years.
Look at Minnesota, who did push everything into the middle of the table. And then they've made, obviously, the Cat deal and some stuff around
Back-to-back conference finals appearances?
But I still don't think they're going anywhere.
They're not getting past what they did. I don't think they're going to win a title.
No, I don't either.
So
it's hard. Got to make the right moves around the edges. You got to do the right thing. And the Conley move was not it. I think they were hoping it was it. It wasn't.
Yes, you have to make the right move, and then the truth is you have to make the next
then the next
3
and
and
the next,
4 and
yeah.
5 right moves, and that's the hard part. I think the Jazz right now have made the right first move with Jaren Jackson Jr., which might be the second move beyond, getting Lowry and the draft picks, but they've made the right move now they've got to hit on all these next moves too. I mean, it's got to be Ace has to be the right pick, and this pick that they make this year's got to be the right guy. Like they have to keep hitting.
Yep. And it doesn't mean you can't have a miss in there either, because that's going to happen. But you have to put correct decisions together, and they've got to be really good. Old Samuel Presti down there has booted several decisions, but he's also gotten a lot of them right. And he got really lucky that Paul George re-signed there.
Yeah. Yeah, you need a lot of luck. Jazz are going to need a lot of luck still. If they want to avoid, which is funny, they would kill for back-to-back conference finals appearances the way the Timberwolves have had. But if you want to get to that next level, you're going to need the next real stroke of luck.
Well, now the T-Wolves are going to have to reboot around Anthony Edwards, or they're going to become the Warriors, which we're going to see tonight. Although Anthony Edwards significantly younger. But you get my point.
Going back to the 6-year anniversary of unsalvageable and what Rudy Gobert did.
No. It's the 6-year anniversary of your backside going viral.
Whatever you want to call it.
The unsalvageable was later. Don't bury the lead.
Don't bury the butt crack. The truth is, the reason the Jazz didn't get further is because Rudy and Donovan were too flawed of players. Not because Rudy got COVID or Rudy gave Donovan COVID or those two didn't get along. There are a lot of teammates. Ask Mike Smith every week. Nobody liked Kevin McHale. Still nobody likes Kevin McHale. That team won so many championships because Larry Bird, Kevin McHale, and Robert Parrish were insanely good basketball players. If Rudy and Donovan were better, the Jazz would have won more, and they weren't better. They were too fatally flawed.
When you give autographs, do you do a little butt crack drawing?
Yeah.
Like just a silly butt crack drawing?
I only sign, that's what my headshot is.
Yeah, right.
Like me pulling up my pants.
How many butt cracks have you signed?
I sign others and photos of my own.
Oh, that'd be so funny if you got a black and white glossy of your backside standing in that shot and signed it.
Funny, I saw it but it was on Comedy Central. It was on John. What is the Weekend on Monday? Whatever. What's the guy who used to do Comedy Central? John Oliver on his HBO show. That clip was it was all over CNN. Like it was truly everywhere. Outside of my dad randomly working with Ted Bundy 40 years ago, my claim to fame is
that backside. Does your mom go, I've never been more proud of my boy?
She literally said that this morning because I think maybe my wife put it in the family text, or maybe it was my brother. They're like, today's the anniversary. And everyone was making butt crack jokes. And my mom said,
sure
proud
know
mama.
How to make a mom proud.
Yeah. Partly her fault.
Pretty amazing.
Yeah. Sorry.
How was it her fault?
Genetics, brother.
Listen, there's such a thing as a belt. You could tighten it up.
I have a belt.
Uh-huh.
I had a belt.
Tighten it up a little bit.
Trying.
There you go. You and Serena on Ozempic. Maybe you ought to stop. No, she's on a different one, right? All right.
Wegovy. It's all the same thing,
I don't
right?
know. Stay tuned.
Have you seen Charles Barkley, by the way?
Yeah, it's gross.
Yeah, he is.
It's gross.
Skinny
I don't want to
Barkley.
talk about it. What's going on with Charles is wild.
Looks real thin.
Wild. All right, stay tuned. We'll wrap up Jake and Ben coming up next, 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.